and we've been given early access to one of the prototypes to see if it lives up to the hype. This car is a big deal for Hyundai, which is evident by the fact the local division has air freighted a pair of prototypes to Australia for final evaluation testing. First things first, it's not often you get to drive a car with all of this camouflage on it. These two are literally hand-built prototypes here in Australia to get a gauge of what Aussie enthusiasts like from their performance cars and to see if our conditions suit what this car is going to be all about. And I'd have to say, on first impressions, while we can't see what it looks like from the outside, from right here, this thing's pretty damn impressive. It's got a 2-litre turbocharged engine that drives the front wheels, and it has a good old-fashioned 6-speed manual gearbox. While Hyundai has yet to reveal official power outputs, that engine is said to produce more than 200 kilowatts and around 400 newton metres in the top-spec model, and an estimated 185 kilowatts and 350 newton metres in the entry-level version. And that should give it enough grunt to rocket from 0 to 100 k's an hour in around 6 seconds, putting it on par with the rest of its front-wheel drive rivals. But it makes this car a lot more playful, but also better value for money. And while Hyundai hasn't announced official details for the i30N, I would assume and expect this car to cost about 37.5 grand for the base level one, and just over 40 grand for the top spec 202 kilowatt version. And that is going to be exceptional value, particularly when you consider that its chief rivals and the car that it's benchmarked against, the Volkswagen Golf GTI, starts from 42 grand. As for how it drives, Hyundai's really concentrated on making this car both livable as an everyday hatch, but also exciting and fun to drive as a genuine hot hatch. And I'd have to say, they've nailed it. We're just cruising around in normal mode, and the engine has plenty of torque. It's great elasticity that you can just use high gears and just use that torque and the turbo motor to pull you around. The steering has plenty of feel to it without being uncomfortable and tugging at the wheel when you get on that turbo power. But then, when you really want to have some fun, you just simply press this checkered flag button on the steering wheel. And it all comes alive. This engine is brilliant. It's got plenty of top-end zing, and it's genuinely really, really fast. But what is best about this car is the whole package and how they've tuned it all to be really, really fun. Don't dismiss it as a front-wheel drive car either, because this thing's got a great amount of grip, really neutral stance through the corners, beautifully weighted steering, and phenomenal brakes. You can really hammer this thing around a racetrack and have some fun. And then just simply turn the button off and cruise home. There's a few hints of BMW in this car too, and that's not really that surprising considering that Albert Biermann, the former boss of BMW M Sport, is the father of this car. The most obvious of those is the tachometer, which has got a set of digital lights around the outside, exactly like a BMW M3. And then it's got some shift lights across the top, exactly like an M3. As for how it sounds, it's got plenty of character, that engine as well. It's nice and quiet in normal mode, won't wake the neighbours when you start it, but when you're up it for the rent on the racetrack in the N mode, it's got crackles and pops on the overrun. It's got this blaring sound imposer through the firewall that generally makes it sound like a good old rally car. All in all, I think this is going to be one of the most exciting hot hatches of its generation, and certainly one of the most exciting cars to arrive in Australian showrooms this year. And if this prototype is anywhere near the finished product, well, Hyundai has nailed it with a capital N.